Awesome.
Me and Scott back again. I'm going to get that to where it doesn't reflect too much. I'll work on my strip tonight. I haven't been working on it in ages.
That's
cool. Oh, God, I did that to myself again.
What'd you do?
I had a YouTube channel open and had the reverb going on.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to share this on Facebook. If anybody's watching this, that's what I'm doing. So today or this week is it's Employee Appreciation Week at my work. And so I had to write. No, I didn't have to, but I mean, they gave all the employee stuff, and so you had to write. They gave you note cards, and they wanted you to write a note to all your employees of appreciation, and so I got to do that this week, which was fine. That's no big deal. I didn't mind, but it was amazing how many other managers I talked to did not care for that.
Well, yeah, I mean those tasks, and it's one of those things you got to watch it. The moment you're good at it,
you get to do more of them.
Yeah, you'll get more of them. You'll be the guy.
That's okay.
Hey, what? Scott's good at that. Not only that, he likes it.
It doesn't bother me. It took me like 10 minutes to do. I didn't even take me that long. I did 4 of them. It was no big deal. It was real short. The other thing that we have to do is you have to do a presentation on your employee's anniversary in front of a large chunk of the company. It's probably a couple hundred people watching. Maybe not a couple hundred, maybe 100, 150. And a lot of people don't like doing those. I don't mind them. They're a little, because it's a live presentation, so it's a little more nerve-wracking. You have to prepare it, but I've gotten pretty good at those too.
There it is. That's pretty cool. Like I say, I can't get over the fact that a person that is up in front of people, speaking comfortably, has got one of the number one life skills you can possibly have. I mean, just without really compare in terms of like.
No, I think that's true.
My mom had it. She may have not been the world. Yeah, she was never.
She was a teacher. Yeah.
She was a teacher. She had a Sunday group almost all her whole life. You know, she liked being in charge.
Oh yeah, there is something. I mean, there is something about talking. I mean, I can stand up and talk about anything. I can talk to anybody for sure. But I think that the ability to, because a lot of people are so scared of public speaking.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they think of the last thing that they'd rather everybody didn't know they did, and that's all they can think about while they're up there, saying they're thinking about me. That thing I did.
The thing I did with the thing and
I'm guilty. But I assume that's the way the paranoid personality works. And and you've got a little bit of, if you've got any paranoia in you at all, you're probably going to have a hard time being a public speaker.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's probably what makes a lot of people self-conscious. Maybe not paranoia, but
no, they're just thinking about what others are thinking of them.
That's the thing. It's kind of like people at my work are always like, "Well, I don't like that person because they're a snob or whatever." And it's like, "Well, what makes you think they're snob?" Well, when I walk down the hall, they don't talk to me. It's like, "Well,
yeah, exactly.
Do you talk to them?" Well, no, because they're a snob. It's like, well, hang on, who's the snob here?
Yeah.
It's easy. I'm always telling people at work this. It's easy to mistake people's intentions.
Yeah. Well, and the other number one thing is, if you are thinking anybody's got time for thinking of anything but themselves, much of any.
Very few people give you.
Yeah, they're not thinking about you.
No, I don't know.
Now I've wasted a lot of time not liking people and thinking about them that way. But It's
Oh yeah,
it's just one of those things.
that. I don't think that isn't even worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That I mean, I get it. There are certainly people in this world that I have plenty of cause not to like. But I mean, who cares? I'm I'm developing my, I'm a Gen Xer, so I am reverting back to the Gen X attitude of whatever,
yeah.
in all circumstances. By the way, Timothy Best says, "Sup,
Sup,
Ellis,"
fellas?
and Fly Fox Pro it says, "Hola."
Hola.
So hola. So, do we want to talk about politics at all?
Oh well, Tuesday happened. That was fun,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was
Tuesdays are
funny.
always good.
I saw Scott Adams talking about it, and he was predicting that Bloomberg would drop out, and apparently one of his listeners was saying he just dropped out, and then he went, he tried to confirm it while he was doing his shtick, but he couldn't confirm it. But I tell you what, he sure would have been full of himself if he'd been able to real time confirm it right before he saw it. He's already pretty full of himself, but I like
You talk about
listening
you
to
talk
him.
about you talk about Scott Adams, not
Yeah, the guy
Bloomberg,
does
right?
Dilbert.
Yeah, gotcha. I didn't know who was full of it themselves.
No, Scott
Bloomberg was
Adams.
such an odd. I'm the people that left. I'm not surprised. I mean, well, I was surprised that Mayor Pete left so
Yeah,
quickly.
that caught me a little
I
bit
think
off guard. I thought, well, I guess millions and millions do mean something to him because at that point it was like, what did I just get for all my 600 million? You know, and
Oh yeah.
the funniest reaction was, oh,
Yeah, but it's not his money.
well, it's like, yeah, it is.
It's not.
If it
No,
wasn't
it's
a pack,
not. It's his.
it
You
wasn't a
don't. Well,
pack.
but he didn't put his cash in, did he?
Oh yeah,
I
oh
mean,
yeah, he was spending his money.
oh, what are you talking about, Mayor Pete or Bloomberg?
Oh, oh, Bloomberg. Oh yeah, Mayor Pete. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I misheard you. I'm
That's it.
sorry.
Oh, that's
I
okay.
wanted to hear Bloomberg, I guess. So that surprised you.
Oh,
I wasn't
Bloomberg. Well, but
surprised. He was ready to
yeah,
be
but they.
knocked over with anything.
Yeah, he was. Well, I think what shocked me about that, and not that I want to turn this to all about politics, but I was shocked that so many people quit. That Bloomberg and Aunt Amy quit right before the Super Tuesday thing. I figured that. I mean, why would you stop then? You
Yeah,
know?
well, just because they had a couple of consultations with somebody, and until they write their book, we won't know who it
Yeah.
was.
And by the way, I agree with Tim Tay says I thought Bloomberg was their guy. I kind of did too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I did too. Because,
I
but
figured
he's
because
still in
he
it
seemed
for him.
like, well, now he's going to be behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, he's going to be still fueling. He said he'd spend. Uh, how much did he say? I think he said he was willing to spend $2 billion to make sure that Trump didn't get elected.
Oh, don't let him lie. He'd spend more than that. He'd probably
I
spend
don't
his
know.
last dime.
You start thinking about your budget after $2 billion. I think.
What's he worth?
I think it's 60 billion. So that's a pretty good fraction.
Nah, that's like no. That I mean that's when I think about that compared to like my net worth and my salary and
Hmm.
and the proportion, that ain't that much. He
Yeah,
even I think he'd spend more than 2 billion if he knew he could get Trump out. He'd spend more than 2 billion.
yeah.
I think he hates. He's jealous of Trump.
Whereas I think 2 billion is about what Trump may actually be worth.
Is it?
A billion's a lot to be
Billions a
worth,
lot of money.
and
Billions a
he
lot of
does it,
money.
and he plus he has ownership of things.
Well, that's the thing is, worth
Yeah,
and cash in hand are different things.
yeah.
But um, so let's see. Fly Fox Pro says Hillary probably paid them a visit. Probably wasn't her herself, but I can promise you, whoever's the DNC chair probably was made some phone calls.
Yeah, probably part of her machine.
Needs that brokered convention. Yes, I am ready for. I need to watch Medium Cool to see.
Have you ever seen Medium Cool? That's interesting.
I've
You
seen
brought that
part
up.
of it. I've seen part of it. I
Yeah,
couldn't take it.
yeah. It's kind of boring, isn't it?
Yes, it's boring, and I thought it'd be interesting. And which, by the way,
Well,
Medium Cool, is the story of the '68 Chicago
leading up to
Democratic
the very famous
convention.
'68 convention, the '68 convention.
Right, and it's I think it's going to be. Here's my prediction: brokered convention riots. That's what.
There'll be a lot of people that. But you know what? I would hope those people pay attention to exactly how much how Bernie takes it, because I think he's a guy that is just getting what he can, and I think he will just slide right on out exactly the way
Oh, you think
he's.
so?
Oh, I think he'll slide
Oh, I
right on
think.
back into his old thing right away.
Well, Bloomberg's going to write him a check, and he's going to. Is what I predict. Bloomberg will pay him a visit, pay him off. I think he'll slide out. I think his followers are going to hit the fan. Because he's gotten screwed twice now. If this pans out this way, he will have gotten screwed twice. And
Yeah,
I don't know that. I don't know that the Bernie Bros, or whatever you want to call them, the Russian bots, are going to go for that twice. There may be. It'll be entertaining. I'm glad I don't live in Milwaukee. I think it'd be a nightmare to live there or this summer.
yeah, it'd be one of those things. I lived, in the area when the Rodney King riots happened, and
Oh, get out of here!
yeah, it's
Did you
not
really?
when I say the area, I mean the L.A. greater area.
Sure.
I was more like Orange County,
Oh,
but
gotcha. Yeah, nothing happened in Orange County.
well, it reached as far as us, as far as the 405 running right through the middle of it. It was
Yeah.
amazing. It was deserted. There were people
Oh,
that.
well, that's good. That's what you want.
Well,
That was,
yeah, but
was a
that
godsend.
405 seems to have a life of its own in terms of like being just a crazy, out of control, tributary of cars
People.
and all,
Yeah.
yeah, and people, and it's just to have it go away. It's just like it's like seeing some sort of stream bed dry up or something. It's weird.
But that was just because nobody was on it. I mean, that
It's
wasn't.
because they were living in fear. Yeah, they
Yeah. Well.
yeah, they were worried about being sniped or stopped and assaulted.
Yeah. What was the guy, Reginald Denny, the truck driver, that got hit
Yep.
with a brick in the head, or
That's funny that we
I
all
think he
remember
got.
his name. There's somebody, I ran across somebody else using the name Reginald Denny in some sort of
Oh yeah.
old piece of fiction that would have been, like decades before the name Reginald Denny
Oh
came to
really?
everybody's. Yeah. And so it made me wonder. I wondered if the Reginald Denny's are a proud old family or something.
Proud of his family, the
Yeah.
Denny's
Yeah.
of South Orange County, or where
Yeah.
he's from.
And I think he was a passing through truck driver.
Oh yeah, he was it was a sad deal. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
gosh, I think I may have seen that live, that incident.
Oh, really? Yeah. It could.
Yeah, because I was watching the riots, man.
You know what? I'm not entirely sure. I didn't see it as well. Everybody was pretty much transfixed by it all. And of course, the deal
And the
is,
OJ chase.
yeah, you can watch it. And it was a kind of a long shot, right? It was a helicopter shot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
it was a helicopter shot looking down.
so
They
it kind
pulled
of
him out of there and hit him
yeah.
in the head with a brick, I
Oh,
think, and
they
then
hit him
like a
with
fire
everything. They
extinguisher or something.
came along and purposely didn't fatally shoot him. Just gave him a nice little shotgun wounding. Yeah, they really went after him in terms of like saying, "Eat it."
Well, the
And
sad thing is, the whole thing happened. I mean, his truck, he could have rolled through anything,
yeah,
but he stopped.
no,
He
yeah,
didn't want to
exactly.
run over somebody.
Yeah,
And he kind of paid the price. But
yep.
luckily things have gotten better, and they're not like that at all nowadays.
Oh yeah, no. We aren't divided into tribes now. Thank God we
No,
learned our
that would
lesson
never,
from that.
nothing like that would ever happen again. Oh, we're missing chats.
Oh,
We're
we
supposed to
are.
watch the chat, Ellis.
Okay.
I want to see Biden versus Trump. Trump's insults will be classic. A missionary got killed during the LA riots. He went out to try and preach the.
Really?
First on the missionary, that's what Fly Fox Pro's saying. First on the missionary thing, that's sad. I mean, sad anybody got killed in the riots. Such a, you don't. Well, you hate for social injustice or whatever however you want to classify that as a wrong verdict or whatever to end up in innocent people being killed, especially someone that is trying to do good to the crowds. And I'm all in favor of missionaries preaching to people, but you have to use common sense. But missionaries frequently are put in
Yeah, missionaries
danger
are fairly
positions.
often not using common sense, and we're always having to say, "My, did you hear what happened to so and so?" And it's like, "Oh, what the hell was he doing there?" That's the
Well,
usual reaction. They had
doesn't he know
one.
that's a tribe of cannibals?
Yeah, that did happen. That one very famous tribe of killing anybody that shows up on their shores. That one guy decided,
Yep.
"I'm going in. Send me in, coach. I'll be in their midst any moment now."
I mean, of course, I'm a religious person, and so I support missionary work, but I also am a person of common sense.
Yeah.
I am not a missionary.
Yeah, I like the fact that you one precludes the other. Yeah, no. Because that's the way it kind of came out a little bit.
So Biden, Trump, that seems, boy, Biden. I don't, I listen to radio and I don't know if they're making him sound worse. I don't know anybody can hear him and hear what he does on the stump in these speeches, some of his gaffes, and just say, man, this guy, he's sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Are they not reporting him?
He's never been that way.
Misled?
What he is good at is using his temper to get in people's face, and I guess that's what he plans on doing. I think he's given me more laughs than just about any other politician with this most recent thing, where when he insisted everybody stand up and give
Vindman, the guy in the wheelchair.
No. He said, "I want everybody to stand up and give Colonel Vindman a standing ovation at the one of the debates," and it was just hilarious because none of these people were going to be standing up all night long, for one thing. And so him, insisting that they all get up for this brave guy that stood up to Trump was just hilarious, because they showed the shot of the crowd and it's like, are we doing this or not? And they finally all got up out of their seat.
Oh yeah, one of those kind of deals.
Yeah.
Okay, there's always one guy. It's like, okay, I guess everybody's standing.
If everybody's going to stand up, I'll stand up. I didn't like that guy. No, they all liked him because he served a purpose.
Well, yeah, that was the audience, but
yeah.
But if I don't know if the Democrats think that he's going to take it to Trump or whatever, they're insane. I think
without being made to look a fool. Now he took it to Paul Ryan. He took it to Paul Ryan during their little debate before, when he was Romney's second in.
Oh yeah.
in uselessness.
Yeah, but I think Paul Ryan was nice.
Yeah, well, that's the point.
Trump was gonna Trump will step on his neck and twist the knife in his forehead. Trump don't care.
That is, we can only hope that he doesn't let him have an inch. But the way Biden treated it was he just laughed all the way through and interrupted Paul Ryan all the way through every time he talked. He interrupted Ryan 88 times supposedly. At no point was Ryan ever allowed to just talk. And I wonder if he'll do it with Trump.
Oh, I'm sure he'll try. I mean, why would he? What's he got to lose?
Yeah, exactly. He's out there to mix it up.
Did you see the protester that burst onto the stage? His wife saved him.
Well, she got between them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I say saved him. I don't know the person that had violent intent. I don't think she saved his life necessarily, but yeah, she got between them. That was
you never know those vegans.
Interesting. I know. Was that what they were protesting? Was
yeah,
meat?
Apparently. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
His
I
name
had
was
a
Wally
pastrami sandwich for supper. It was good. Oh yeah, Wally Tope. Yeah, I saw that. I read that. Well, that it. And again, I mean,
Timothy Best thinks
there's a danger. Do what?
Timothy Best earlier on made a comment that, like, I'm thinking, and me and James Wood are thinking the same thing, that Hillary is going to worm her way in there as the VP.
Oh, you think so?
I do, and so does Timothy Best.
I think that I don't know. That could be. There could be something to that.
Well, he's got to go now. Supposedly, I forget who it was. There's some famous personality was saying that, and this is perfectly legal as far as I know, that Obama could now be the VP. And flipping the ticket like that, that could happen. I mean, you wouldn't think Obama would want it, but at the same time, being able to get everything he used to have without the responsibility. Oh, of course he.
Well, and I'll tell you what, if reports are to be believed, he's very irate. He has been irate about some of the changes to some of his policies that Trump has done.
Yeah, yeah.
So if he were VP,
it's perfectly legal.
Really, or I guess he could be president again if Obama was.
Sure, yeah, that could happen.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if sure.
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to the convention, though.
Yeah. I'm not looking forward to being in suspense. The idea that any of these guys could win. I know that'll cause me a certain level of misery. The idea that they might be able to do it, and they'll be up to anything. There will be nothing they won't cheat at to get it. So, I'll be in complete suspense the whole time we're working on it. But I feel my temperature going up just talking about it.
Oh, okay. We'll change the subject.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about
what is the subject? You wanted to talk about something that you've got going, right?
Well, okay. So Saturday you're coming over, right, for the podcast?
Yes. We do a podcast called Classic Cinema Podcast. We are watching Slaughterhouse 5, which I like. I've
never seen that.
Oh, excellent. Glad you haven't seen it.
I've never seen it. I've never read the book.
Wow. Okay.
When I had jury duty, one of the other jurors was reading that book. and I think I checked the audiobook out of the library, but I never was able to listen to it. I just because of timing,
Yeah.
more than anything else. But I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. I kind of know what it's about, vaguely.
Yeah. Well, it's a great little piece of storytelling. I believe the director is George Roy Hill, who I think did Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid. Now maybe now I can look it up. I'll look it up. The heck of it. Yeah, I should steep myself in a little bit of.
It wouldn't hurt. Something to talk about.
Yeah, make sure.
I wish I'd read the. Now that we're watching the movie, I wish I'd read the book.
It's been a while since I read it.
So, I don't know if this will blow out my picture or not. Turn on that light. That's good. The
1972.
Yeah, so when you come over, you'll have to check out the pod chair.
Oh yeah, the pod chair, man. Tell them what all you've done to it.
You haven't seen.
I said it
at all,
once.
have you?
I've said it once.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
But it didn't have any of the inside stuff on it, did it?
Maybe not. I'm trying to think.
Okay.
I mean, if you mean lights, it had lights in it.
Yeah, I think it's a lot different than what you were in before.
What I experienced. What was I going? Oh yeah. George Roy Hill. Yep, Butch Cassidy called it. He did.
Cool.
He did another one I love, Slapshot. He did The Sting. He likes.
He did Slapshot.
He did Slapshot.
Oh, I like Slapshot.
Did the great Waldo Pepper.
You know what? You may have. I was trying. I'm next. This is Barry's choice. My choice is next. I may choose Slapshot, dude.
Nope. 1977.
Son of a gun.
I wouldn't mind seeing Slapshot.
I've got it on DVD.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
It's very funny. Yep. It's funny how many times Paul Newman worked with the character actor Struther Martin. he's the guy that's the poor manager that spits and says bingo and damn it and
yeah.
And
I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about, okay. And he's also, of course,
yeah.
His most famous role is Cool Hand Luke, which is what we got here is failure to communicate.
Oh yeah, that's the same actor? I didn't realize that.
Yep.
I don't know when the last time I saw Cool Hand Luke was. I know I've seen it on TV at least.
Well, that's an awesome piece of storytelling there. Great characters. I mean, everybody. Well, you talk about it's one of those things where that's exactly what an actor wants to get into. So, let me get in there and be a character. It's got so many weird people in it that you think, well, that guy's a big star. What's he doing in there taking a shower in the prison? I think Dennis Hopper's in it, running around. Yeah, that's the other thing. They're all running around in their whitey tighties. It's kind of he says, well, the costume design for Cool Hand Luke was pretty easy. We just put them in whitey tighties that would
put
fit.
Them in BBDs and
yeah.
So also, I got a book coming in the mail tomorrow. I think I told you about this. Called Memory Drawing. That sounded kind of interesting.
It does sound interesting.
I came across it. I happened across a copy of it that was a poor scan. Let's put it that way. And so I was unfamiliar with it. And I read a little bit about it, and then I read a little bit more about it online. It convinced me that I should buy it because it has exercises. The idea is it's to teach you to draw and to develop your visual memory. And we've kind of talked about that a little bit.
You want to be able to go as quick as you can to something that that arrives at where you want to be in the drawing. Unless you just
Yeah, that's
like to struggle with things. Yeah, I guess
struggle with
what we're all
construction.
looking for is a mind's eye that gives us the ability to say, I'm going to paper now, or rather, I'm going to the
Yeah.
finish now.
Well,
Which
that's what Kirby could
he
do
had that talent.
supposedly.
Well, and you know what?
Yeah.
I can see it developing in anybody that spends the 10,000 hours on it. I can't honestly
Well,
say that I've concentrated myself enough that I probably right now I'm just whipping out some inks because I've got a digital brush I like and I'm liking the way it looks on top of things. And I'm going along. I'm drawing right on top, and I'm not necessarily tracing it up, but there's enough underneath there that I can tell where I'm going. I'm happy with it. Let's see what it looks like when I
I'll
turn it
say
off.
one thing.
Go ahead. Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
say
I
one
like it.
thing you did that. One thing that you did. I'll tell the listeners this is we were at a coffee shop one time, and I was talking about Michael J. Fox, and with no reference, you drew a pretty good portrait of Michael J. Fox just by thinking about what he looked like.
Yeah.
I was always impressed with that. It looked pretty
Well,
good.
well, that sort of thing is there's there's methodologies, and I've had the advantage of having a little bit of a class with none other than Steven Silver.
Michael J. Fox.
Yes.
I bought a book of his the other day.
Yeah, Steven Silver is the guy that started his character design. Pretty successful guy as a teacher and everything, publisher, teaching a lot of good stuff. But he started as a guy that he was happiest doing caricatures, and
Oh yeah.
that does pay about as well. If you guys want to know how to really make the money, be the guy that sets up his little booth that does caricatures. Those guys make a lot more money than anybody else at a con you're going to go to.
Oh man, I made a lot of money over the years, and I kind of died off. And I don't know if it was just from oversaturation, but man, I used to go to
You going to talk about
Kansas City Comic Con or
your
Planet
zombies?
Comic Con. I did zombie portraits of
Yeah,
people, and I made a killing doing
yeah. You
that.
made
I would.
people want you to.
I'd usually. But the last year I went, which was a couple of years ago, I didn't make anything hardly, and so I think I oversaturated because it was always the same con.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, I
that's the
made a
deal. Yeah,
killing.
everybody gets oversaturated around this area. They show up at these cons
Yeah,
over and over again, like something was going to change about the amount of money you make for one thing.
yeah, it does change. It goes down.
Yeah, it goes down. Yeah.
No, I did okay. I'm not. I mean, for a while, I'm not complaining. But yeah. But I know I used to know, and he's passed away. But I used to know a guy that was the official caricature artist for the Oklahoma City Thunder,
Oh,
with our
wow.
basketball team here, and he would set up at the games, and you go get him, and he'd draw your caricature, and he was really fast at it, and he learned at one of the he's from California, and one of the theme parks he worked at out there, and they trained him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I always
They've got a
seen,
look. They've got a look that they do. Yeah.
yeah, and I've seen ads for there's a place locally called Frontier City, and now I haven't seen them lately, but for years they would hire caricature artists during the summer season. And I've thought about, man, I'd love to go do that just to get that training.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Get the
I'm not
hours.
good at it. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's really kind of, once you get a little bit of a handle on the methodology, the main points is you've got, and this comes because, Silver was one of those guys that made sure he was in the presence of those he idolized. He made some sort of
Oh yeah.
pilgrimage and got to talk to um, the guy that worked for Mad, that was the world's probably the ultimate Mort Drucker. And
Oh yeah.
so he asks Mort Drucker what's the secret of a good caricature, and he really just gave him the his methodology of just, he says,
Yeah.
first you start with that big shape of the head, and honestly, if you just think of heads as being either squares or circles or triangles or some peanut shape, if you see their big shape, you're halfway there, because then at that
Well, that's
point,
true.
everybody's face divides up about the same ways, and about in the middle is where their eyes set. And then all you have to do is say, what kind of nose do you have? Well, let's see, there's always the big bulb on it. What do your wings
Yeah.
on your nose look like? Okay, we got
Yeah.
that. What kind of do you have, a fat nose? Does it come up in a blade and hardly get enough skin to go back down to your face? So when you get those big little points going, all of a sudden you almost probably, and of course eyes, and people, when you think about it,
Yeah.
in school, and girls that used to fill up pages in their sketchbooks full of eyes. Have you ever noticed that? The
Oh yeah.
girls like to draw eyes. But anyway,
Yeah.
everybody kind of can fake an eye. So if you get the eye types,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you look at it and say, dang, when did I get so talented? Because all of a sudden you got a likeness, It's
Yeah.
like it's kind of interesting how quickly, and of course that thing, like I've told you before, the planes of the head. There's not too many
Yeah.
times you have to draw that before you kind of get how all faces are divvied up in terms of like big shapes. I may be understating my own 10,000 hours a little bit, but yeah, it's just really methodology.
Yeah. Well, a lot of art, I think, is
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
that. And not that I'm trying to
Which is be what would
minimize
be
any
good
art's ability, but
if that book gives you a lot of good notions about how to proceed to get it out of your head.
well,
If he gives you
for
drills, that'd be great.
it's filled with drills. It's only 135 pages, so I figure I can read that and do it'll take a while to do the drills, but I figure it kind of, from reading it kind of seemed to tie into what you and I have been talking about a lot lately, which is this idea of direct drawing. That is drawing with a minimal, not none, but a minimal of construction lines.
Right. Yeah, you want to get the scene, but at the same time, you also want to be able to. I've been thinking about this more and more. All you want to do is just have the impact of a scene. Well, this has been brought really home with looking at The Enemy Ace of Kubert.
Oh yeah,
because it features also it's not all Kubert. So you get to examine, okay, now why do I not like all these other guys doing it? Well,
yeah.
I mean, they had some top guys that came along and did the other stories. John Severn, Howard Chaykin. They only had a couple of guys that really couldn't do it. And they even had Neil Adams. He probably managed to channel Kubrick as well as anybody. You can see that, why that would be.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah, because
he's got that going for
good.
him. He's really good. Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. What did somebody in the chat say that? Yeah, who is does just a little?
That's me.
Just a Little American. Does that sound like somebody you know? Who are you, Just a Little American?
Yeah, show us your credentials.
Yeah.
That's probably one of your. This is your YouTube.
Yeah, but you're sharing it out on Facebook. You could get all kinds of riffraff in here.
Yeah, well, that could be going on out on Facebook, and I don't know who that is. Anyway, so what'd you do today? Kind of a dreary day. Did you leave the house?
It was a dreary day, but I left it. It was that kind of day like a foggy day often can be, or obviously the fog was 1,000 feet high, but it was a warm kind of cool day in a way. Okay, those can't be the same thing, but yeah, it's weird. It was kind of an enveloping kind of coolness that was very pleasant.
I did not care for the weather today.
Oh, really?
I liked it better yesterday, and I think it was cooler yesterday, but it felt warmer because the sun was out.
Well, maybe I got out so late that it was still.
Oh, yeah, it warmed up as the day went on. What are you working on, by the way?
I am working on. You ought to recognize this. This is coin toss. Wait a second.
Oh, get out of here.
Is that right?
What? Is it?
No. It's the other one we did about hobos. Oh, yeah, the hobos bindle.
The hobos bindle.
Which we got our local. Everybody has, everybody that's out there that's still in the chat, tell me your local horror host. Oh, none of these people are going to be old enough to have a local horror host. What am I talking about? That was a different generation.
I don't know if that's still a thing. Well,
no,
Spengeli still, or
Spenguli
still does it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Spenguli, Elvira. But back in the day, it used to be a thing that local stations would show horror movies on the weekend. And our guy was named Count Gregor. And me, Scott, and another guy that's and Scott's brother, and another guy that's in our podcast on movies, D.L. Nelson, and Count Gregor, whose name is John. What's his name? What is his name?
Ferguson.
That's right. It came out and performed for us and did a great job. It's on YouTube.
This was a story that Ellis had wrote and directed and conceived of. It was an all Goodson production. We just volunteered.
Except I had some fine acting in it.
Do what?
I had some fine acting.
You didn't act in it, did you?
I didn't.
Or did you?
No, I'm not in it at all. I was the cameraman. But then I took it home and edited it. What? Go ahead.
I still like coin toss.
Oh yeah. It's simpler. So
coin toss was,
and you want to know more about it. It's like, what did I just see? What did they mean to do here?
Yeah. What is this?
Yeah, exactly.
So
if you can get that going on, it's
for the viewers, and we haven't done it in a while, but Ellis and I did a few real short films, just spur of the moment, more an excuse to hang out
downtown.
And so my wife works in downtown Oklahoma City, and so Ellis and I would hang out downtown and draw and that sort of thing, and so one day we got the wild hair to make a short film. And Ellis wrote and storyboarded and everything. This movie called Coin Toss. And it's kind of it's almost like a Twilight Zone kind of thing. I don't think there's any dialogue.
No.
And
few sound effects.
Ellis went back and added some sound effects and some visual effects. And it's black and white. It's kind of a cool little thing. I like it a lot. I think it's and it was fun to do.
It's big. Its big effect is a reverse film moment where I had like about $5 worth of pennies, and I wanted Scott to throw them straight up in the air, and then I would reverse the film, and it would seem like he'd. Did I throw those at you, or did you throw them up?
We threw them.
Yeah, but one of us had to be the thrower.
I threw them in the air.
Yeah,
I threw them in the air and you filmed.
Yeah, I filmed. But I guess that means you had to have thrown them in the air and then hidden the coffee can or whatever. You sure I didn't throw them? No, I would have to been at the ready with the camera.
Yeah, you operated the camera, but basically what it was is to get an effect. It was an effect of a guy basically being sucked off into space.
Yeah.
And it works pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
You know, all things considered.
Yeah. Yeah, reverse film has always been one of my favorite special effects. It's so easy. Beauty and the Beast, the old one.
Oh, the old one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you pick as a movie.
There you go. Did you ever make yourself watch that Criterion version? Did you ever? You rented it, I remember.
Oh, yeah, I watched it. I got it out of the library.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a good movie.
Jacques Cousteau.
Cousteau. Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, so that's a good movie. It's got all kinds of weird little special effects like that in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so smart too, in terms of like how it does them. Where it's like if you want some hand, have a candle in it and have the candle come on, you just make the guy at the very end of his movement move it real quick, and the candle will snuff out. So that it looks like so it looks like it lights.
Looks like he whips it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, it's such a. I saw, I shared a link that I got from Joe Dante's podcast, the movies that made us. Where he there's this real cinephile webpage. I'll add it to the things at the bottom eventually, because I've obviously sent the link out. I can get my hands on it pretty easy. But it's got just tons of movies I've never seen. Of course, a lot of them are foreign, but a lot of them are just obscure things like who knew that Ray Davies of the Kinks directed a movie that impressed quite a few people about a serial killer, or at least a guy that's losing his mind to such an extent he thinks he might be a serial killer.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the sort of film I'm talking about, some sort of BBC thing that was on only an hour and only played once. And it's like someone else noticed it, though, and has gone to the trouble of collecting it on this website. And, I've got a lot of movies I can be watching now, I tell you. A lot of them are really interesting sounding.
Oh, are the movies on the website?
Yeah, you can actually, they make them all possible to download.
Really?
Every one of those movies is downloadable. Yeah.
I'll check that out.
Yep. Yeah, I'll share the link. Cool. Yeah. Medium Cool is Wexler.
Maybe Medium Cool should be my pick for the next movie.
Well, that would work, because that dates all the way to 68 or something like that.
Yeah, I think that would put us to sleep.
Yeah, I'd definitely put Nelson to sleep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about picking the Maltese Falcon.
That's a good one. I always watch that.
I don't know. I need to. You know what I want to see? Even though I'm opposed to picking anything I haven't seen before, I'm the opposite of Dave like that. But I want to see Terror from Beyond Space.
Well, I think that's safely in the. Oh yeah, that's a '50s horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No,
but I haven't seen it. Is it worth seeing, Ellis?
It's great. Yeah. You dig it. It's got. Oh yeah. Make that your pick. I think
I know Barry has it. because I want to see it, and I think it would make a nice bookend because we watched Planet of the Vampires, which is another movie that
inspired
supposedly
Alien.
influenced, Alien, yeah. So I think it'd be nice to add the kind of the bookend to the two.
The other one. I think I like your thinking.
I think that's what I'm gonna pick. I'll email Barry sometime between now and Saturday and make sure he has a good copy of it. I hate for him to have to go buy this stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I learned from Barry that if I really just have to see Better Call Saul, I can get it on iTunes. So that's good to know.
Oh, really?
I may break
you
down.
Get it on iTunes?
Yeah, you can buy the whole season for $26. So, that's not too bad. 10 episodes.
That's right. You don't have cable, so you haven't been watching it, have you?
No, huh?
Oh, okay.
And I love that show.
Terrible's not worth it, Ellis. No, it's great.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I have been enjoying it a lot.
Saul Goodman.
And
Saul Good.
Yeah, I've used that. I've told more people past 2 weeks. It's all good, man.
Yep. It's all good, man.
It's all good, man. You can see he is beginning his descent.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see it.
And you know, everything he's going to do to her is going to, since she obviously wasn't in Breaking Bad at all, it means somehow he tucked her away completely in his life and or dispensed with her or lost her entirely. We'll get to know that.
Something bad happened.
Something bad may have happened.
Something bad may happen to Ellis. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
Well, this season he has come. Some of the actions from like the first season have come back to haunt him.
Well, yeah, he is a guy that he is not a sociopath. He has feelings. He cares for people, but he is a guy that he's probably a little too smart. He's not his brother, but he's got his brother's genes. You know, he's a smart guy. You know. He's also a worker, and he's also he knows people better than the average guy knows them. You know, he's a con man.
Yeah, he's a con man. That's the thing. He's got that con man. He's con man smart.
Con man sensitivity, which his girlfriend there, whatever her name is.
Oh, she's got it too.
She's got it too.
Yeah. Well, and there's a great scene in I think it's in episode 2 that he tries to get her involved in a con, and she refuses to, and so he's like, okay, fine. And then because of her talking to him, someone that he was trying to con, she turns around and does the con without him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be vague about it, not
be vague about it. Well, you know what? I think I watched the Red Letter Media review of Midsummer. Let's just say Midsummer, okay, since that's what the word means. Midsummer.
Yeah.
And I believe I got, because they just went right away. They said, okay, let's dispense with all this spoilers. And then everything they did was tell you everything that happened in the movie from that point on. Well, I'd already seen that, and yet I remembered nothing of it when I finally myself got around to watching it. So, you know, spoilers only.
I still haven't watched that. Is it worth seeing?
Oh, absolutely.
It is.
Well, it just depends on how much you, I'd say, see it, because even though it is, you could say horrifying and got shocks in it and everything like that, to where a sensitive person maybe shouldn't see it. They're all done so artfully that you can't honestly say. Killings almost in all cases occur off screen. And so,
really?
yeah. So it's not like it does have some close up horrific gore. It's funny, I was reading the director. There is a director's version of it that has all the gore restored to it, or which is amazing because it's pretty gory here and there anyway. So the idea that there's another version out there that's really gory is, I don't know. I might give it a chance if I ever run across something calling itself the director's cut. Hey, you know what? You like you like documentaries. Do you like ZZ Top?
Do I like ZZ Top? Yeah.
Well, there's
Of course I do. I was a kid. I was a kid in the '80s.
Yeah, exactly. Those MTV videos. Well, on Netflix, do you get Netflix?
No, I do not have Netflix.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Is there
no.
Is there
There's a
ZZ
real good
Top documentary on?
Yeah, there's a good documentary called Little Band from Texas. It's only an hour and a half long. And what is really fun about it is that they've got all the home movies and stuff of them when they were just punk kids in their little bands before ZZ Top.
Really?
Yeah, and it's got so much of that you are to the halfway point before they get around to talking about LaGrange in terms of being in their career.
Really?
So LaGrange, that's the early. That's their hit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like ZZ Top.
Well, it's a lot of fun.
In fact, I don't know if you're a big ZZ Top fan or ever were, but I believe it was Trace Hombres on the album had a center spread. I think it was Trace Hombres of Mexican food. Is that Trace Hombres? Do you know?
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I almost bought no vinyl of ZZ Top, but I did have.
Okay, so I think it's Trace Hombres. Trace Hombres has the album folds. Okay, so it unfolds, and on the inside it's got a double spread, and it's like this Mexican enchilada dinner that's like, it's like one of those food challenges to eat all this. Just all this Mexican food. That is that double page spread, or that double album spread, is the backdrop of my computer at work right now. So, there's that.
That's no way to lose weight, having that making you hungry all the time.
That is no way to lose weight, for sure.
Yeah, Mexican food in general. It's no way to lose weight.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's good. Some of the best tasting food, but no way to lose weight.
Well, it's all cheese and carbs.
Yep.
But anyway, I'm gonna see if that's what Trace Hombre. Trace Hombres gatefold.
Oh, cool. You're gonna find it, huh?
I don't know if you know. I don't know if you can see that.
Let me look. Here, I'll make you the whole thing. Hang on a second. Okay. Find my right click. Solo layout. Oh yeah. Yeah, you'd weigh a few. You'd gain a couple pounds with that dinner.
So that's my backdrop of my computer at work right now.
Well, that looks good.
Sorry, dude.
No, that's all right.
Anyway, well, Ellis, I think I'm gonna cut you loose here, dude.
Hey, it's time, isn't it? Hey, I'm glad I got a lot done, man.
Yeah, I got a little bit done. I'm working on this thing still.
Let's look. I'll go back to solo layout. Let me look. Hey, look at that.
Let me turn it. So to remind everybody, I don't know if you've seen this. This is page 1. And
Good.
it's the Gwenpool thing. I'm gonna fix this lettering. I don't like when I added the fire escape. It went over the graffiti, so I'm gonna thing it. But it says, "Hey Vulture, are you scared of a girl? She's graffitiing, and there's the Vulture shadow, and then Spider senses. She sees the Vulture. Vulture swoops down. She's taunting the Vulture. He's coming on. He smashes into the fire escape. So,
Yeah.
Here's my original version of the page. Little too busy, and I never liked the action of the Vulture.
Yeah.
It didn't, it didn't gel. And I'm trying to do it a little bit different. This was too busy of a style, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for more. I don't know what you'd call it. Simpler, something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. Simple is always. You're going to find your genius if you ever get simple. Most Mexican food my mom
agree.
made was horrible. that's our last comment.
Is that you?
No, that's somebody else. From
yeah,
Timothy Best. Timothy.
Oh yeah. Well, I have two artists. Actually, I should say. Let me rephrase that. I have several people work for me in different positions, but there are two artists that work for me at my work. They're both Mexican. One of them's half Mexican, but one of them's Mexican, and he's in his early 20s, just graduated from school a couple of years ago. But he goes home about every weekend, and his mom makes food for him. And I noticed the last time he went home, he brought back tortillas and gave the other guy some, but he didn't give his boss any. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, it just goes to show you he doesn't understand politics, I guess.
He does not. He will learn.
Okay, you ready to sign off here?
Yeah, I'm ready to sign off. Ellis, I'll see you Saturday at 6.
Yep, that's when we do it. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Okay, sounds good. See you. Thanks, everybody, for listening.
Oops, I cut you off. We're still